So what do you think? How do you think? Because I'm very confused. I don't know how. Looks like we're going to have a play-in game. Embiid's coming back though, so I'm a little hyped, man. Should I stay hyped?
Well, you should if Embiid is able to come back. Now, the hardest part is this: when you lose a little bit of rhythm, to come back and kind of assume the position of the playing style and the dominance you had before, because conditioning plays a big factor in that. Timing, you lose the timing a little bit, and while you've been out, other players assume some different roles as well.
And also, Jim, not to interrupt you, conditioning is funny because that's always been pretty much the only knock on Joel is that people felt he wasn't in shape, that he would, as the playoffs went on, his conditioning where it wasn't where it should be, so his game suffered.
Okay, so what kept Joel out? What was the injury?
It was a meniscus tear.
See, so here's the difference is that when there's a lower body injury, you can't work out as much.
No cardio, no
You see what I'm saying? So if it's a shoulder or arm, you can still do a lot of cardio stuff and kind of you keep your conditioning up. It's not going to be game, kind of conditioning, but at least you're able to stay on it. When you have a lower body injury, you basically can't do anything conditioning-wise. It's some upper body stuff you can do. I forget the machine it was called, to kind of keep your heart rate up and down.
Okay.
But it's not the same as running and having somebody lean on you and push. So it's going to be interesting, like the minutes that he plays. And I think you pulled up the schedule, right? They have
7 games left.
7, and they have a back-to-back. Do they have a back-to-back?
Yeah, they have a back-to-back.
So you figure that he wouldn't play that.
Right.
He'll play one. So if he had 7 games.
You say that, but because he's missed so much time.
Yeah, but you want to monitor his minutes and what you put on him. So that's the difference.
Okay.
In regards to playing the back-to-back now when he's just coming back off of injury, how much stress from that perspective do you want to put on him to play on that until he gets back in shape? But, I mean, what do you're Sixers diehard. Was it something they were missing to you during the year, or were they, before Embiid's injury to you, were they just as good as the Celtics and the Bucks?
I mean, like Chris said, the Celtics have been on the roll all season. I feel like we were just slightly underneath the Celtics, on par with the Bucks. Joel, in my opinion, I'm a little too biased, but you're going to have a hard time telling me that up to the point where he went out, when James Wiseman fell on his leg, he wasn't the MVP of the league. 35 a game, 11 boards.
Historic numbers.
His defense, to me, because, the argument's been lately, him or Joker, who's the best center. Different skill sets. I feel like his defense is what sets him apart from
Joker.
And Joe, monster on the defensive end, unstoppable on offense. So you're right. A lot of other guys did have to step their games up. Kelly Oubre being one. Maxey just continue on his ascent to becoming a truly great player. It's going to be interesting. I'm a little kind of torn. I'm like, why not just kind of wave the white flag on this season maybe? Give that knee a full offseason to heal? But that's not going to happen. These guys are competitors. They want to go compete. So just kind of hoping for the best.
But we talked about this before. I think because at the top of the Eastern Conference, besides just Boston, Milwaukee is Milwaukee, but they're not the Milwaukee from, the old Milwaukee that people saw. So I think Philly feels that they have a legit shot if Embiid comes back to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think that's why you look at the bigger picture and say, well, why don't they just forego this year? But they're like, hold up. Yes, Miami is up there, but when we were rolling, we were one of the top teams. Yeah. Can we get back to that and get to a conference finals and then go from there? I think that's the mentality that they're thinking with. Why you wouldn't just raise a white flag?
I mean, look, as a fan, you don't want them to wave that flag. I want them to compete, but I'm also thinking long term, you want to make sure this guy's healthy going forward. But you just got to trust the doctors and
trust the process.
Trust it.
Yeah. See, did you see how hesitant I was? I had to trust. I don't trust the process was a failure, in my opinion. Unfortunately, but I don't know, man. Like it just seems like, unfortunately, I spoke in hour one about stories that seem like they're already written. I'm not saying the Celtics are going to win the championship, Chris, but man, you guys have been so good all season. it's kind of hard. Like, I'm not a betting man, but I have a hard time not putting my money on. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying that.
Go ahead. Come on. Just say it slowly.
Go ahead.
So it won't hurt as bad.
Just like from down here and just let it.
Just take a deep breath.
I don't want to
take a deep breath and kind of just let it.
I don't want to say. I'm not going to say. Let's roll our breaks. Right?
You want to go? Yeah. So in between the break, you can just woosah, meditate.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.